All right, folks, it is 8 o'clock p.m. Y'all know what time it is. It is Earl Grey Tuesday, and once again, it's me, it's that VINCE. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. Protein Bra, the best thing to do is to get a temp job until the security and CDL jobs work out, and that can be anything. Just go to your any type of temp agency, and they should be able to come up with something until those other jobs pan out. We will talk about the Savage situation there. Let's go ahead and talk about that right now. Savage has been on, for the past few years, he's been pretty much, what's the best way to say? He's been a fringe lunatic. And he's done some crazy things already. So, this actually occurring was never a surprise to me. You know what I mean? There comes a breaking point to where, the lunacy of things go off the deep end. And I wouldn't be surprised if Savage ends up killing someone, eventually at some point in time. This is just the very beginning. Yeah, Pugman, even some day labor jobs should pan out there. You can always come up with those here. There's always people that just need a job just for the day. I also recommend for people that have worked in the office, you can try Fiverr and do some sort of computer work or so forth. That actually works. We're also going to talk about Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon, who were both fired on the same day. Surprisingly enough, the thing about it is that Tucker Carlson fanned a lot of racism and bigotry, but I think Don Lemon was even worse. I'm going to be honest with you, Don Lemon was like that group of people, a group of queers in the gay club. By the way, I offended a lot of people with this, but I really don't care. Don Lemon was just one of those uptight little queers who sat in a bar with a bunch of other ones at gay clubs. Those are the types that would do that and just call people assholes and laugh about them and stuff like that, just giggling to themselves. Sort of like Mean Girls. If you guys have ever seen the movie, he has no self-awareness. He thinks that he can't do wrong because he's black and gay, in my opinion. Now, surprisingly enough, Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon actually have the same lawyers that's working their cases here. Now, Tucker used to be an alright guy whenever he was in the bow tie stage, but I think part of his acting out behavior, the same with Don Lemon, is just these news stations, CNN and Fox and stuff. They just keep wanting to push the edge, just in order to get ratings, and I think it just went off the deep end. Tucker's was pretty much a done deal after that settlement with Dominion for like $700 million here, which I don't know what Sean Hannity's situation is. He might be next on the chopping block, But a lot of crazy stuff going on here. Why don't I like shrooms? Shrooms are dangerous, Joel. They're drugs there, They're psychedelic drugs. And when you take a mushroom, you have no clue as far as to what kind of dose you're going to end up getting there, But for Vegan Gains, it's even worse because he's taking drugs alongside prescription drugs here, and that never fans out. He's going to end up like Heath Ledger if he keeps doing that mess here. But, of course, getting off track, just want to let you guys know what I got today. As usual, a nice hand-rolled Nicaraguan cigar. Cup, of course, Earl Grey, what I like to have around 8. I actually got some brandy as well. And, of course, nice cold water, Shrooms do not improve health whatsoever. And if anything, you definitely shouldn't be taking them with any prescription drugs, if anything. Well, deal with it, Joel. I mean, shrooms are kind of dangerous. I don't smoke marijuana, protein bra, but I got no problems with people doing that. That's relatively safe, actually. It's marijuana is actually safer than cigarettes here, way safer. Even probably safer than cigars, if anything. Have I tried shrooms? Absolutely not. No. I mean, I'll do a little. I've done a few bumps of coke and everything like that, but I ain't taking no dang shrooms here. F that. They are dangerous. Dangerous in the wrong hands, my friend. Dangerous. But someone had asked me about the whole parent fitness type thing. I mean, I've not seen him make any videos about me, and I told John Bravo that he ever came on my property, I would kill him without mercy, and stuff. Amongst other things, I think he just went a little too overboard when he said, he was going to try to dox me and stuff. I'm sorry, I don't play like that, folks. So he can go and do his own thing. He shouldn't even been in my business anyway to begin with. If someone sends me an email and I ignore it, then get the freaking hint. Joel, I ain't trying no mushrooms there. Quit talking about that. That's not just an opinion. I've watched people on shrooms there. I've never seen anyone on shrooms act right. Don't forget, I worked as a detention officer as well. I booked in plenty of people who were high on shrooms, and they were wild. Well, Beyond Marked, I sent back an answer. It's not a product I'm going to work with at this particular time. I'm sorry. It just doesn't fit in the game plan or anything. But how's everybody else doing tonight? What are y'all drinking and smoking here? And Beyond Mark, you have to understand, I have a limited space as far as to, things that I can pretty much do. It just doesn't fit in at the present time there, or so forth. Well, Angel, I'm already on TRT. I've been on that for about 2 months here. I mean, I'm about finished with the gels, so I should be able to get the injections now. So I'm just about finished. I'm going to call in for a prescription. Ah, no problem. I always like taking a look at any type of business opportunity and stuff. Maybe I'll get random visitors. maybe. Joe, and no shrooms, man. No shrooms. But even though we're not gonna have shrooms, what we're gonna have is a nice hand rolled Nicaraguan cigar. Some of the good stuff. Yes, sir. Cigar time, folks. Mm. Yeah, booked in somewhere you're high makes you. Well, sure, it's not going to get me deleted there if I brought some. The only thing that would get me booted off of YouTube is if you're doing illegal drugs live, in other words, or if you're smoking marijuana or so forth. Hmm. Well, I've lost a ton of weight, folks. There, if you guys saw my picture on that I posted of me at the Charlotte Pro on Sunday, you can pretty much tell, and stuff. I mean, I feel a whole lot better, injuries and stuff. This arm was hurting, it's now gone. Hair is turning back black, or at least most of it and stuff. Not so much around the beard just yet, but some of it is getting black. Hmm. Well, it's a clone of another energy drink, but all of these energy drinks are made by the same company, so They may tweak the ingredients slightly just to make it different, but it makes no difference. I've seen the comments. I think Nick Trigili was. I don't know why Nick Trigili would make a video that it's copying anything, because these are all spit out of the same facility, so they couldn't. The company ain't gonna sue itself there, Period. Protein bra, you never inhale cigars. Cigars are not to be inhaled. What it is that whenever you inhale it there or so forth, it doesn't go to your lungs. What happens is the thin layers around in your mouth there brings in the nicotine, in other words, and all the other good stuff. Hmm. Those were a pair of Cole Haans. I am getting a pair of Sperry's boat shoes, but those weren't Sperry's. I have a black set of Sebagos, but I didn't wear those. Yeah, I posted another picture on my YouTube community post as well. That's what got Trigili in trouble, I'm afraid. The thing about it is that, and I asked Trigili if he had another suspended channel before, which I didn't know, which I found out later that he did. All it takes is for someone to report the YouTube that someone's back there, and that's generally what happens. So I'm more than sure that Trigili pissed someone off to where they just went and reported him. It could have been Bob Ciccarello. It could have been More Plates, More Dates. Could have been Big Rami. It could it could have been just about anyone. Seriously. But I mean, that's what happens here. It's going to be very difficult for Trigili to get back on YouTube. He may have people working on it, but he's going to need to sign with that channel management agency if he's ever going to get back. And if he doesn't, he'll never be on YouTube again. No one can. I can't bring him online there or so forth. Get in trouble. Beyond, you're not bothering me at all. I appreciate you being a supporter of the channel. I hate telling people something like that there, but I always want to be upfront with everyone, and stuff as far as things are concerned. But I'm sure you'll find some equitable businesses that will accept it or so forth. Patman, he can't come under another name, That's what he did. That's what he did before the bodybuilding and BS. He can't come under another name. It'll just get taken down again. Don't forget, somebody went and reported him. That's not something YouTube would automatically pick up. So if he comes back up there, someone will just report him again. Hey, Lamar, how you doing there today? Certainly hope you're well. If he did truth, it has everything to do with it. If you get terminated in the past, you're not supposed to set up another account, Channel agencies usually take about half sometimes. That's how Vegan Gains got his channel back. They take a nice chunk of it there, that's for sure. Truth, he can put on a mask there, but they'll recognize his voice. And again, you basically can't stop the fact that someone reported him. That's why his channel's down, because somebody reported him, and someone will report him again. You can buy a channel there, but they'll take it down again. It's a waste of money. Tater Tot, it could have been anyone. They're as far as Perrin Fitness's channel is concerned, From what I understand, someone Instagrammed me and said that they were going to nuke his channel as well, so they've already reported him. Perrin Fitness actually had his first channel taken down just the same for, I think he was giving steroid sources and practically selling steroids over YouTube, which you definitely can't do. That's a big no-no. You're getting too strong? That's a good thing, man. Like I said, folks, YouTube doesn't play around there, you know. I mean, no matter what Trigilli does, mask or anything like that, he's got to take in account the factor that he's already been reported. He needs to go with that channel management agency. Pugman, Vegan Gains' issue is he has way too many expenditures, you know. I mean, Jasmine's now working, so hopefully that's alleviating that situation there, but, you know. My strength is awesome in the gym, you know. I mean, everything's pretty much awesome. Weight-wise and everything, you know, it's pretty cool. What really got me pumped up was one thing about a bodybuilding show. Whenever I go and see it, I always think of myself as far as the looking at the competitors. I'm like, I can beat that guy. I can beat this guy, you know, and stuff like that. I got bigger arms than this guy, you know, and stuff. You know, when you see someone on stage as someone that's competed before, you always the stuff like that twists between the minds, no matter how old you are, you know, or how long you've not competed. Just can't get it out of you, of course. No, I don't think Trigilli's going to do the gay for pay anymore. He was actually, from what he told me, he was doing it so he can afford competing in bodybuilding, but he's not competing as an IFBB pro, so he doesn't need the money. But you never know, you know. I may as well tell you guys this here. I actually shouldn't be telling you this. There's a certain gay person that runs around the bodybuilding circuit. What he likes to do is, and some IFBB pros have somewhat worked with him. What he would do is he would take one of those pros back to the hotel, chain him up there, and walk him around like a dog all around the hotel and stuff with a mask on. And they would get between $500 to $1,000 a session there. So, you know, he's a nutcase, but people still get paid to do that type of stuff there. That's the people who can't get the porn stuff up and going. So, thought I'd let you know in on that. Well, truth one, I'm a pretty big guy there, you know. That was one thing. I may have sucked at bodybuilding there, competing, but yeah, I'm a pretty big guy overall. I got my daddy's genes and stuff.
What about Svarian? You going talk about him later? I started watching him. Good videos.
Vince with a $100 donation. Yeah, I actually started talking about him in the very beginning. I guess, but you weren't here. I heard about the acid attack by the hitman and that he's been on the run. Savage has already been on the run or so forth, but ultimately, here's my thing. Savage has always been a nutcase. He's always been a lunatic, and he's done pretty much loony things here. I think he probably may have mad cow disease or so forth, but, you know, the only thing I can say is the attack doesn't surprise me whatsoever there, Pugman. Excuse me, Vince. It doesn't surprise me one bit. Honestly, he's going to end up killing someone. This is just he's going into a de-evolution, in other words, here. But again, thanks for the donation. I keep track of Savage. You know, he's sort of like a polar opposite of Vegan Gains, sort of. Both of them need some serious help. No, it wasn't Joe Weeder. And I'll give you a clue. His first name is Mark. That's about all I'm gonna give you on that. There. The only reason why I'm saying that is because we're on the out, so f him too, you know, and stuff. But no, Joe Weeder didn't. Joe Weeder didn't need to do something like that. You know, he already controlled the IFBB. Him and Ben. Can a guy have a slightly smaller bicep and be stronger than a? Oh, absolutely. The size of a bicep doesn't dictate how much strength you have. Hmm. I mean, you have to understand, lifting is more of a technique is more technique than actual strength. Well, I don't know what hotel quick pump, but it's always going to be next to the ice box machine. So, yeah, I'm bigger than Dale Chance here, or pretty close to it. Hmm. Like I said, I'm a pretty big guy there, folks. Here, you know, that's what I was trying. That's why Richard was looking at pictures every time there, and he thought that that was just camera angles and stuff. There ain't no camera angle with me there, you know. And I was explaining to him, it ain't no, it's not a camera angle. Mm. Because I have really long arms, I've really had to train my arms to where it mitigates that whenever I'm competing. Because if I didn't work out my arms super hard, then being so long, they would look kind of frail on stage, especially in a relaxed pose. I think Dale's an all right person there. I think he's a pretty cool person, down to earth. I don't have it. I've never had an issue with Brad or Dale. I think they're pretty much down to earth, you know, in terms of things. By the way, folks, have y'all been keeping up with the new Delray Misfits videos? It's actually good seeing those again. Would I ever do a live Getting Loud in the City? Probably not. I may do an Outside from the Swordfish live, possibly. But we'll have to see at that. No, not Mark Robinson. You're not going to know him there, you know. Is overly bulky a bad thing, or does it? It really depends. Mine is all about genetics here, you know. I'm the size. I'm pretty much the size of my father, you know. Quick pump, I wasn't asked, but even if I was asked, I would have declined. Me and Derek have had our time there. He's been gone for almost 10 years, you know. And I pretty much knew what would have expected. It would have been an S storm if I had dropped by that show. So I'm glad they didn't ask, and like I said, I wouldn't have gone on the show. Because what am I gonna? The only thing I can talk about him is bad things, you know, and I don't want to be in a position to do that anymore. He's been dead for almost 10 years, you know. Not Mark McGuire. Quit guessing. That's my name, Joel. What do you want? Don't talk about those shrooms again. I ain't taking them. Oh boy. Yeah, Savage, he, you know, Savage can run, but he can't hide actually. But it's crazy, you know. He's gonna run out of money, folks. Here, once he runs out of money, he's gonna turn himself in. Either that, or he's gonna go kill someone. I think he's gonna end up killing someone. And I think he may have some sort of parasitic disease from eating all that raw meat, you know, and stuff. Eating that raw meat is can't be healthy for you. Pugman, I'm still trying to find out what happened to it. I mean, it's been almost a year since I've been in that storage bin or so forth. I'm kind of lost on what to do because that's not the only thing that's missing that's important. There's a lot of essential paperwork that I definitely don't want someone getting their hands on. Hopefully it hadn't been misplaced. I got to go to Asheville anyway, so I'll check with the famille. So for an acid attack, yes, he would get extradited. I like dates here. I mean, they're simple sugars. They're good for energy there, Zach. Uh, it doesn't have really so much of a relation to bodybuilding because, except for, you know, helping out with giving energy to train. Doing a podcast with Billy Guns. We were going to do one many years ago. Billy Guns is outside of the bodybuilding industry. He's completely left it. He's doing some sort of computer software work at this point in time, last time I checked. You're getting bigger than me? Well, good for you there, you know. You only want to get as big as you need to get big. Are you going to be competing sometime soon or so forth? Or, you know. Yeah, it was legendary, that's for sure. I was really drunk that day, you know, and stuff. Really screwed up there. But it was supposed to be an entertainment type thing, you know. Don Lemon was an a hole, you know. It's like I said before. He was like that. He was like that part of group of queers that was in the gay bar just making fun of people and, you know, being an asshole and stuff, you know. And thought he couldn't do wrong or just because he thought he can get a free ride because he was black and gay, you know, and stuff. But him and Tucker Carlson are technically working together because they got the same attorney that's working out any types of deals and disputes in regards to them getting fired. So, yeah. Rolling up some weed there. Okay. I've not spoken to any of the Delray Misfits. None of them have actually contacted me or anything. You know, I may need to contact them. I'd like to see what they're up. Some of them are up to, of course. You know, I'm just glad that they started filming again. They really needed to do that. That's how family is here. Tucker Carlson's already worked for CNN. I would doubt that they would rehire him. Tucker Carlson's net worth is like $80 million, so he could start his own news station or so forth. I think he's going to pull a Megyn Kelly, and he's just going to start doing his own thing. Because he's already worked for MSNBC, got fired. He already worked for CNN, got fired. And now he's worked at Fox News, and he's been fired. So there's not really much place that he can go to. He just needs to go start his own thing. Thanks, Justin. You got sleepy time weed. Well, make sure you stay awake until 10 p.m. Well, truth, when I said this a few months ago, RX Muscle rotates out their special guests there, you know. So John Bravo had his time, and you know they're rotating to the next person. They have Amin up there, you know. No matter what, everyone gets that rotation, and you know John Bravo got that rotation. So that's just business as usual. Yeah, I know, Pat. Man, I'm loving it too. So, and yeah, I'm not surprised that he's avoiding Brad, considering everything. You know, why the low audio? I kept it the same because people complained that it was too high, so I turned it back low. And I would just recommend utilizing your volume button on your phone or computer or so forth, because I don't want to tune it to the point to where it gets high again or so forth. You didn't get his channel taken down. It would have had to have been a major person that would have taken down his channel, that would know the rules. No, he can. No, I wouldn't have Nick working for me. I mean, we're cool now, but there'd be work that he's definitely wouldn't be capable of doing. I'm not aware of Perrin actually disabling his comments. Last time I checked, he still had his comments up to where you could speak on them. Let's take a look and see. No, he's not disabled his comments. They're still there. He can disable it on certain ones here, but you'd have to ask him about it. There may have been something in there that he didn't want to cover, that he needed covered up. Hmm. Join the. I'm not gonna join up with RX Muscle. I like doing my own thing. I like being independent. It wouldn't be a good mix neither. Anyway, I'm not a full-blooded Italian or anything, so just a little bit, and that's it. I can't put my finger on a mean serratus. I really can't. It's like a half and half thing. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not adjusting this audio anymore. I think it's because I played it back on my phone, and I had it at medium volume, and it's just fine there. Parents said I sexually harassed him. No, I just made sexual jokes towards him there because I knew it bothered him. He's on YouTube whenever you mess with someone there. I mean, I got the right to mess with people back there, so whatever. People have sexually harassed me before. And they ended up in my bed. You're out of roaches? Well, just go down to the gas station, get one of those Swisher Sweets, and take a blade and cut down the middle of it. What kind of pre-workout is it there, Lamar? That is possible, Athens. He could have just banned you. But if he banned you, you still should be able to see the comments. John Bravo's Arab. But I mean, that was never in doubt whatsoever there, you know. Well, I paid for some other stuff there. I've also unplugged the router, so the computer is directly plugged into the internet box along with the other stuff I bought. So I figured it would be improved. But again, folks, thank Pugman. You can't groom a 30-year-old. I mean, this guy used to work on F-16s there. I mean, he used to be in the military. I just don't get that, you know. But I'm not going to talk about him anymore. He doesn't bother me. He's not bothering me right now. I'm not going to bother with him, you know. If he puts out another video, I'm going to go harder on him there, you know. You talking Brokeback Mountain, someone's back is going to get broke this time, so. Pugman ain't trying to groom me there, Destin. Shut up. There's nothing wrong with competing in Romania. I know that Masters is up and coming there. I think it's going to be a very lousy show from all accounts. I think it's going to be a really lousy show. If it wasn't for Pugman, there wouldn't be all these types of improvements here to the live stream. I'll be honest with you, you know. Because he's gotten me to, you know, because I've taken what he's donated and I've put back into the channel there, as well as other things like the website and everything. So, yeah. Which now is all going to accumulate into the 5G router, which I'll be getting. Once it's off back order, it'll be hooked up, it'll be set up. We're going to be playing video games, people. Yes, sir. So again, thank Pugman. Oh, boy. This is a good cigar tonight, I'll tell you. I think they finally got to the... I think I finally got them properly aged, and I'm just going to keep them at this temperature. Oh, yeah, you've donated as well. I definitely appreciate everyone that's donated there. I take the donations and put it back in the channel and stuff and do other things with it, you know. Quick Pump, I think Josh is going to have a good chance because I don't think any major names are going to be competing in Romania. Why is it difficult for bodybuilders to have children later on? Well, the steroids there, it's going to interfere with the sperm system. You'll notice that a number of IFBB pros have a lot of daughters. They have a lot of girls whenever they give birth, and that's partially because of those steroids there. I kid you not, most of these guys have women there that are born. Only when I'm dancing can I feel this free at night. I lock the doors where no one else can see me. I'm tired of dancing here, but I remember I can't remember the name of that song. Athens, I ain't even gonna answer that question. Sober powerlifting is not the strongest man on earth. Won't be strong, but got a long way to go. I mean, Max Charles is ending is on the tail end of his career. He just turned pro way too late, so he would have a good chance in Romania as well. You go to the Swordfish to enjoy drinks and conversation. You don't go up there to pick up guys here. It's not a gay bar there, Pat Man. I mean, it's a gentleman's club there. When I talk about cigars and stuff like that, cigar lounges, it's pretty much the same. When you walk into the Swordfish, you leave this liberalism, you leave all this type of woke culture away because once you walk in, you see the drinks, you see the people, you see all the dead animals on the wall and stuff like that, the moose and everything. You're stepping into a time warp there, in other words. Go into any of these little woke bars there, Lord knows if you have a moose head on there, they'd be screaming their heads off there. Well, we just want you to be here, Lamar. That's all that matters here. No, I called to cancel it, Justin. They're perfectly fine. As long as you call to cancel your reservations, you're okay. So that way the bar stool would be open for somebody else. Would I date Max Charles? No. I eat a lot of yogurt there, Pugman, a whole bunch. I use Orcos, the 000 yogurt. I buy that I go to Sam's Club and I buy a big box of it. I love yogurt. Yogurt's good for you. It's got a lot of calcium in it. Helps out with the digestive system. In fact, after the show, I'm going to have some yogurt. Hmm. Yogurt's one of the most healthiest things you can eat, folks. I mean, it has a number of nutritional benefits. A lot of people don't get enough calcium these days because they're no longer drinking milk and stuff. And yogurt does that for you. Am I friends with Jay Cutler? I've met him before, so I would consider him an acquaintance, but we don't talk to each other. I'm more friends with Bob Ciccarello and Sean Ray than Jay Cutler because I speak with them regularly. Or semi-regularly would be the best thing. Hmm. No, I've never pushed someone's stool at the Swordfish Club. That's kind of rude. Why would you do that for? Me and Blaha will never get along. Is it a good idea to run on a weighted vest? Yes, absolutely. It's actually preferred to run on a weighted vest. Oh, watch out, folks. You might see a little skip in the video. Nah, I think eating yogurt. I don't like eating in front of people, folks. Smoking a cigar is a little bit different. If I ate yogurt instead of smoking a cigar, then, it loses the touch, in other words. I always like having a good cigar at this time of night there. And then I'll eat yogurt a little bit later or so. Good stuff. Yeah, Greek yogurt. That's the type I eat. And yogurt doesn't really cost that much. It's very affordable, too. Very affordable. Did Sean Ray really call Ronnie to ask him why gang members were hanging out at the Quick Pump? I don't know whether that's true or not. I have no clue whether that's true or not. Honestly, if I had to take a guess, probably not. Well, Justin, I should ban you just for saying that there. I think Johnny Rebel's dead, actually. He made some pretty horrible songs here. In my opinion, do you think Bruce Lee could have fought and beaten?
How many milligrams of caffeine you taking these days?
I'll get to that in just a minute. Bruce Lee could have beaten any bodybuilder because, bodybuilders were not fighters here. He would have beaten up anyone. Vince with $100 donation. How many milligrams of caffeine? I've probably cut down a bunch there. I'm now drinking more decaf coffee. I would say about 150 milligrams at most. But again, thanks for the donation there, Vince. But yeah, I'm drinking more decaf now, especially at nighttime. And that's helping out with sleep. Plus, I found a good decaf brand that's just as good as regular coffee. The only time I'm drinking regular coffee is just in the morning. That's why I got the 000 there, Athens. There's practically no fat in that, so you're knocking out every bodybuilder that steps to me. You should keep your hands off people because while you can't, you may be able to knock them out. You go to jail for that. I've met Sean Ray many times, but I mean, he's been in the industry for quite some time. He's been on ESPN, and Sean Ray's very meetable there, But you have to remember, you have to be very respectful. It takes a couple of times to actually meet him in order to where he'll actually have a word with you, But most of the time, it was all of about 30-second conversation there. I mean, this wasn't conversation. Most conversations that we've had generally have been Facebook messaging and stuff like that, But whenever he's at an expo, I keep the talk to the minimum because he's busy, and stuff. He's working the show, so he doesn't have time to go around and jaw around with people. And you got to respect that. That's my whole thing, Serratus. Not only that, I don't like talking while I'm eating. If I'm eating around a bunch of people, it gives me a tendency to talk instead of eat. Is Sean Ray insensitive? No, he's just a get bigger. Sean Ray can almost count as a piss trooper, barely. If any bodybuilder was close to being a piss trooper, it would be Sean Ray because he's really down on Get Big. He's really put down a bunch of people there, and I mean really. I would say it'd be a residue of piss trooper in him here. So, have you ever met in person someone that's starstruck you? No, I haven't. I don't get enamored with people. If I was going to, I've never met Arnold Schwarzenegger before, so I'd probably get starstruck probably by someone like him. Do you think there should be a special law in place for people that work in hospitality, fast food, and such overly? Oh, yes, I think that should be in general. People are being a lot more rude these days. And being very abusive. I mean, the bigger problem is, people are getting now shot for opening up going to the wrong apartment or driving on a property or something like that. People are a lot more, I think what's happening is people have stocked up on so many guns that they're just finding any excuse just to use them. Not only that, the The new laws that were passed in place, the domain laws in North Carolina, you could practically get away with shooting someone for any reason. A lot of these people are not even getting charged. Joel, just go with a 1 gram joint, I guess. Frank Tofano's having a seminar on the 27th. I doubt he would go and scam something like that. He's done that before, so. Yeah, Sean Ray's a troll. How much for you to smoke a blunt? You couldn't pay me enough to smoke a blunt on a live stream. Not only that, they would cancel my live stream. You can't do drugs on a live stream there, Tongue Daddy. You don't get strikes for that. You get banned immediately for doing drugs. I've never heard Perrin use the N-word before. If he uses it in general conversation, then I'm not around to verify that. Protein Bra, I've mentioned this before. I'm not allowed to own guns. Who do I side with more? Probably Sean Ray. Now, me and Chad are good friends there. I sent clients over to him actually before in the past whenever I was on Muscle Mayhem. But it's one of those cases where I don't have to really side with either Chad or Sean Ray. I talk more with Sean Ray than Chad Nichols. That's on the base. But at one point in time, I used to talk to Chad Nichols more than Sean Ray. But it's not something I need to take a side on. I just need to mind my own business and not even get into it. And Chad's son shouldn't have even have gotten into that business. That whole beef between Chad and Sean has been going on long before he was even born. And usually everybody just stays out of their own beefs there, What I would consider a piss trooper is, people that are pissed off at the establishment. You're talking about that person that works at a coffee shop, that gets yelled at all the time there, and they get pissed off there, and then they want to exercise their rage in a more positive way there, or negative way, Piss trooper, in my opinion, is just a good old working man that's not stuck on this type of woke culture that we have to where you got to be a little bitch in order to make friends and stuff like that, It can mean a lot of things there. It can also mean fans of Jason Genova as well, so. Which I'm a big fan of Jason Genova, so I think there's a lot of different meanings behind it there. You just have to really define it for yourself there. People are going to have different opinions on what a piss trooper is there, Well, of course, he was personally trained by Joe Weider, Quick Pump, so he was a Weider athlete, a real Weider athlete, the same as Milos was. So, yeah, his training form is always going to be perfect. Because you have to understand, when Sean Ray was training, he was training around the Master Blaster. And if he screwed up, Joe Weider would pop him upside the head. He'd pop his athletes on. Joe Weider was a hard person to work for, So that's why his form is so perfect. Not only that, you have to remember he was a host of EST. He did a bodybuilding show on ESPN. When you're lifting on TV, you got to be perfect, not this vegan gains type stuff there, So he's been on television before, unlike some of these other. So yeah, he's going to be lifting perfectly. Joe Rogan's not on YouTube per se. Not only that, I think his channel isn't even monetized. Would I use a hair system? No. I like being bald pug man, and also it would require me to take some stuff, and I don't want to spend money on any toupee, I mean, it worked for Telly Savalas, it worked for Michael Jordan, it works perfectly for me as well, so. Nah, Repsion doesn't hate me. Me and him are okay. I don't want to get into that protein bra. Just I can't own a gun, so all I can say it has to deal with something about a decade or so ago. You don't have a large enough channel to where it would affect it. If you're monetized and you go and smoke weed, no, they'll ban you. If you have a low count channel, they'll probably just ignore you. Bam needs to get into rehab. Him beating up his dad and his brother and stuff like that, unacceptable. Steve O is going to get himself killed one day with one of those stunts that go wrong. I don't know why. I mean, I love Jackass, the show, and everything like that, but you know, these guys are doing the stunts and they're getting to the age to where they really shouldn't be doing this type of stuff. Yeah, it's not people that are it has nothing to do with people getting scared, Zach. I mean, part of it is the case. It's just that people are stocked up on so many guns there that, you know, they need an excuse there, you know, to use some of them. That's my opinion. And the laws allow people to actually do them now, you know. I'm not knocking on any door. I'm definitely not doing any DoorDash or anything. It's crazy. Bands and chains are good for building strength there, Large Marge. The thing about chains is it gives you what's called progressive weight because the more you lift up, the weight gets heavier, actually. Chains are awesome for doing bench presses and squats because it progressively the more you lift up with a chain attached to each other, the more heavier it gets. Most carnivores look older than their age simply because they're not getting a lot of them eat really lean meat, so they're not getting the proper oils in their skin. Have I ever been on an all meat diet? No. But whenever I was dieting down, the vast majority of my foods was meat. But I also ate a bunch of spinach there as well, and I had like a half a cup of oatmeal in the morning. Whenever I'm dieting down, I only have one half a cup of oatmeal in the morning, and that's it. Everything else is just meat and plants. Athens? No, I didn't. It's kind of disgusting too. If that was the case, I mean, you gotta kiss someone there, and it ain't gonna happen with doo doo around the lips. Well, it's harder to digest there. I think it has more to do with people eating very lean meat because they don't want to get too much cholesterol when you're on a carnivore diet. And as a result, you know, you end up with very dry skin. I don't think they've caught Bam yet, but they will catch him. I mean, he can't really hide, and I don't think he has the ability to. Dusty, I'm not gonna mess with the volume tonight or anything. You know, because then it gets too loud there. You have to understand that the volume on the Streamlabs is so sensitive and stuff there. Because I'm at a point to where it's already turning the barely yellow, and when it gets yellow, that's when I know it's really loud. So, well, we're gonna. I need to leave it at this here. Have I ever tried? No, pump. No, I haven't. Large Marge from Pee Wee. I think that was her name from Pee Wee's Playhouse. I'm not for sure, really. No, that was from Pee Wee's Big Adventure, actually. The truck driver, actually. Yeah. Well, Zach, I have a sauna suit there. I used to wear it all the time, but whenever I went to the sauna, but not anymore. I think they can be quite kind of dangerous at this point in time. I still got a sauna suit in my home there, or actually in my equipment bin. Pugman, I'm eating about 4 meals a day. I mean, I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then I have my yogurt. Now, sometimes I'll have five. I'll have another set of yogurt there, two snacks, if I'm training that day. But ultimately, I keep my calories pretty much low. TRT is going great. Weight loss, building muscle, aches and pains going away and stuff. It's great. Has deepened up my voice a little bit. Lamar, I hate Papa John's. I would get Pizza Hut. Cream of wheat is actually gruel. But the benefit of cream of wheat, it's very easy to eat, so it really depends on
Can you
your
not own
texture.
a gun because you're a felon?
Joel with a $3 donation. No, I'm not a felon or anything. Has nothing to do with that. Maybe one day I'll give y'all an explanation there, but it's nothing bad or anything. Hmm. Good deal, Dusty. Yeah, if I go and start it's already reading into the yellow barely whenever I speak, so it'll go once it goes to the red there, then it's definitely going to cause problems with the stream. Pugman, I take creatine very sparingly. I have a protein powder with creatine, but I need to throw it out actually, because I don't want creatine in each one of my scoops or anything. But I take very little creatine, if anything. Part of the reason being is I take stuff for blood pressure and stuff. The Thorazite's going to draw out the water anyway, so it's sort of like defeating itself. Felony. Domino's, that's my preferred pizza place there. As far as a chain is concerned, Andy, I would go for a local pizza joint, if anything. Most local pizza joints there do a lot better than these other companies. But I'm not really eating pizza anymore or anything. Well, you can't have one because of a corrections job, Pat Man. You can't take a gun as a corrections officer or detention officer, so that wasn't a factor at all. I think sauna suits are dangerous for people that don't know how to respect them, you know. I've seen people take sauna suits and run out in the hot sun and they end up getting hypothermia and stuff. Well, some do. Athens, I never did that type of stuff. If I do it quick pump for a very short period of time, it doesn't affect it. I like waffles. Pretty good here. Hang tight, folks. Got to take a little pee pee. Yeah, boy. Ah. Yeah, cream of wheat is actually gruel. Ovaltine is gruel too. That's what I consider it as. Gruel is the same as pretty much oatmeal. It just has a lot of water in it. But yeah, cream of wheat is basically gruel. Vegan Gains gives advice on things that he has no clue about. Even though he's been married, both of them have been arguing or so forth. Vegan Gains needs to lower down as far as dating advice. Not only that, you have to remember he's not dated in many years because he's married, you know. And Lord knows he never met Jasmine in person there. They had an internet relationship before they got married for the most part. There, Zach, there's no correlation with that. Large breasts to be athletes here. It is going to be a lot harder as an athlete to have large breasts in certain aspects. Sometimes it can be an advantage, like in hammer throwing. A woman with big breastises will weigh more, so they'll be able to throw the hammer more. So it depends on what kind of athlete they are. Yeah, usually. But one thing about a corrections officer is concerned is, you don't want to be an a hole to a prisoner anyway. Remember, they're not behind bars per se. When you go into a pod, you're surrounded by like 100 people, so they can whip you up any day. It only takes a few inmates in order to take you down. Like how much juice can a person produce? There's no way for me to answer that, Lamar. Hey, Lamar, you go and curl away, man. You curl away. I'm only going to curl weights until my arms are tired to the point of exhaustion to where it stimulates growth. What does grits taste like? Grits are actually good there. Just like the name, it's sort of like a watery, gritty type taste. That's why you add butter to it. Sometimes you mix your eggs with your grits. It definitely doesn't help Athens. I don't even know why he's doing that when he's taking all that medication. I wonder if he was on those mushrooms whenever he was doing his live streams. I think it definitely adds to all his problems. You're allergic to creatine, Pugman? Yeah, then you definitely wouldn't be in a position to where you want to eat too much meat there. I've never heard of an allergic reaction to creatine there. That's very interesting. Pugman, I never tore my bicep or anything like that. And I thought the doctor originally told me I broke it, but it was actually just a strain, actually. So I didn't need any surgery. I should have mentioned that before. But I did have to keep it in a sling for a little bit until it healed enough to where I can start training slowly again. Maybe one day protein bra. I don't really want to get into that. Did I ever drink pruno? What's pruno? Are you talking about prune juice? Yeah, my mother used to mix prune juice with apple juice. Yeah, they taste like what you put in them. I haven't had grits in a very long time, actually. I mean, it's been years since I've had grits. I wouldn't feel comfortable with either one of the two. And I think Jay Masters probably because I think vegan gain. I don't want to be around vegan gains when he has one of those lapses or so forth. I strained the outer head of the left bicep horribly, and okay. Well, you know what that old doctor says. Hey, doctor, my leg hurts when I move it this way. The doctor says, well, don't move it that way then. So, Pruno is prison wine. Ugh. No, I then in that case, no, I've never had that because I've never been in prison other than working in one. Even if I was a prisoner, I wouldn't still drink something like that. You know, it's possible where you can get alcohol poisoning because you have to understand this is still unregulated alcohol. Yeah, I seen that guy tear his chest there. It looked pretty bad. His power, I think his powerlifting career is over with. Took it for many years. Recently took it again, fine, and then rash again. Yeah, that you don't want to then take it. I mean, I have a it's similar. It's a situation. I have somewhat of a similar situation. I don't drink Coke Zeros. I used to drink those all the time, and then I started getting kidney stones. So I avoid any type of Coke Zeros or anything. Truth one, we called it hooch. I've never heard the term pruno before. Vegan legend, I've collected numerous weapons that were made by inmates. You know, deodorant bottles in a sock and stuff, or objects. Shanks, obviously, made from bed springs. So, yeah. Practically just about any shakedown of a pod, usually we would turn up a bunch of weapons. And we would collect them, actually. If you go into any prison, I mean, there's just drawers and drawers filled with different types of shanks there. And then we show them off to people that are coming in to work, new people, to know what they watch out for. Rich will be happy once he gets balance in his life to where he's not working a bunch. Yeah, I got kidney stones from Coke Zeros. Hmm. Well, KCB, that's a thing he wasn't thinking. He just wasn't thinking. Did I confiscate pornography? No. An inmate wouldn't have pornography. Any mail that comes to an inmate is already checked anyway for that type of stuff. So they didn't have pornography. I guess they would just think and jerk off or so. No, I've never met Wes Watson. What's the funniest prison story? I was working one Christmas there, and I had just got to work, and there was a door that was actually covered up, And I was hearing jingle bells, jingle all the way, and stuff coming from that covered door. I asked him what's going on. He's like, you ought to check it out and look in there. So I go up there and look in, and there's this naked black guy. He's singing jingle bells and he's shaking his balls around. And unfortunately, I got to the part where he ended the song and he was just shooting his sperm all over the place. Very disgusting. Worst Christmas I ever had. But at least I got double time and a half there, so certainly earned my money that day. I covered back up the sheet, and you got to check on these people every 15 minutes so they don't commit suicide. He had on one of those suicide smocks, obviously, so. Thoughts on vegan gains discovering that he's. No, that was just the shrooms there, Athens. Why do I catch a fast food girl always staring at me every single time I go in to grab a salad? Well, they're probably just doing their job and seeing what you want there, so. I wouldn't think much of it there. They do have to look at their customers. Now, if they're being extra nice to you, then they may be just trying to hit on you or so. You just found a bunch of. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, once you get it fixed up, make sure you have the job done right to where that doesn't happen again, to where you have to do it again. Generally, an inmate with porn, the way they see it is the reason why they see it as contraband. They believe that gives them a tendency to rape another inmate there. Sort of like a motivation to rape another inmate. We also take away drawings of that type of nature as well. Inmate artwork is pretty good, actually. Inmates can be very creative when it comes to creating artwork. So a lot of times they'll make their own porn. They'll make their own porno stuff there. It's pretty neat. Hey Corey, what's up? Yeah, he was singing Jingle Bells. There's a number of funny stories that I can pretty much think of. Howard Stern. I always like this whack pack thing. But as he's getting older, he's pretty much slowing down, in my opinion. But still, he's still doing a good show. Well, Christmas dinner is okay. The inmates actually cook the food at any prison, so I always got a free meal naturally. So, uh, and some of them cook pretty good, especially given the food that they are given. So, prison guard ate differently than inmates here because we obviously had better food, but not so much to where it's like maybe one level above prison food, but it's free. So, yeah. Well, KCB, those houses, the all metal houses, I think they only produce maybe like 30 of those. But the idea is no more rust, no more, and very little maintenance here. It was just a fad that died out pretty quickly. They didn't build too many houses like that. Well, protein bra rules are rules. I guess at one point in time there was an issue with it. And like I said, these inmates can make their own porn anyway, so yeah. And we have to confiscate that. Most inmates did body weight exercises. One would, in order to do squats, an inmate would climb on another inmate's back and just start doing squats. If you went to the actual, that's in jail. In a prison, you know, they already have weights and stuff. So, but you got to definitely keep watch on them. Well, everyone should. Maybe one day I'll go over some other inmate stories. Maybe dedicate a live stream to it or so. I mean, I got a lot of them. Quick Pump, I'm surprised that he was able to get that out to you. But maybe he paid a guard or so forth just to look the other way. That'll never happen with Beetlejuice. He has an agent, so I would actually have to pay him, and I'm not paying anyone to do a podcast. Do I get drunk on Christmas? No, not at this point. I'll get super buzzed, but I won't get super drunk or anything. What am I going to use? Paper or padding? Oh, you're asking Serratus that. Did your prison punish the biggest morons with Nutriloaf? Uh, Nutriloaf was around whenever I was working in the prisons. Nutriloaf's been pretty much outlawed. But yeah, if you got sent to like Red Pot or so forth, or the disciplinary loaf, you would get that, and you know, you would have to get your water from the sink. We didn't give out any cups or anything. Nutriloaf is pretty much mostly Nutriloaf mostly is just grease and stuff, and we would feed the inmates twice a day with it, and it had all the calories and stuff like that, you know. But it was designated as cruel and unusual punishment. Yeah, I got into a lot of fights in prison. I mean, that's part of being a prison guard or so. Comes with it. Comes with the territory. At least the parts that I worked at. What job did I enjoy most in retrospect? I would say whenever I was working places like football camps, like the Atlanta Falcons training camps and stuff. That's probably my favorite time because you know you got to meet the athletes and everything like that, and you know I didn't have to worry about getting punched in the face or anything. It's a more lax environment when you're working with athletes. You know, I was able to. Whenever I was at the Falcons training camp, I was guarding Michael Vick actually, so I had to run next to his cart, and he would drive it around, waving to people and stuff like that. And here I am running to the side there. Got a lot of exercise there. The truth one, you already know the answer as far as dating is concerned, especially. Yeah. Minimum security would have weights here, generally speaking. Tennis courts and stuff. Michael Vick was a lot smaller than I was. That's the most person. That's one person that I remember the most there because I worked directly next to him. Get some. I'm not. Ron Mexico cigars are really horrible. They're really cheap cigars. I was about a year and a half. Truth one.
I discovered your channel through your home tour vid. It was a very good vid. I'm buying a home in WV. It's dirt cheap there. I'm in Re now.
Alonzo with a $4.99 donation. I'm glad you discovered my home tour video. Of course, my channel is much different than the home tour videos, obviously, but Yeah, grab one of those homes there. It's definitely going to save you money. You're going to be able to put it into other investments. But again, thanks for the donation. I think drinking alcohol, Zach, allows you to relax. It de-stresses you and stuff like that. A number of studies show that alcohol helps out with the heart because you're not stressed out, so you're not putting so much strain on it. Alcohol is good in moderation. Some people like the Ron Mexico cigars, but they're very cheaply made. I mean, you're talking about the scrapings of other cheap cigars. Would I date a young mustache Gary? Probably not. I hate mustaches. Well, they still sell versions of it. They don't sell this particular model, but you can definitely get one. It'll probably run you about 70,000 now. Yeah, exactly, KCB. Ooh, that went down the wrong pipe as far as that alcohol. I contact the mowing company there, Pugman. They charge like about $75. I get a good deal on it. Who is more handsome? Geez, both of them would definitely crack mirrors. Maybe Jay Masters, I guess, if he shaved. Gee, that's kind of a funny question here. Hmm. I ain't got that milk. Well, save up for it there, Protein Bra. You can afford anything you want in life. It's just a matter of, working hard for it and your savings here. You know, there's actually an old video on saving money there from the film archives. I may have to play that one day. Funny thing, it was talking about a lady that was spending 20 cents a day on ice cream sodas, and over a course of time, she spent $60 and stuff. Really funny stuff. Mm, good smoke. Good smoke. Of course, this cigar is beginning to get really strong. Do you think mental health problems can be overcome by therapy? It's in some cases there. Mental health problems are medical problems here, so some of them can be overcome by therapy. Sometimes you just need the proper prescription. Eat a chicken breast Genova cooked. Be safer. Do I miss Artie Lang? A little bit there. Yeah, a little bit, I guess. Howard Stern had a lot of guests on there that were pretty good, like the Drunken Elf and stuff like that. Hank the Drunken Elf. I remember one time they put him in People magazine as the most handsome person. They had all the votes came in and stuff, and and they put someone else up there. So a lot of people I miss from the Howard Stern show. KCB in my area, I would probably say a Lexus. And the reason why I say that is a lot of the urban people will buy Lexuses, be all fancy, but they never fix them up. So they'll just go rust and bust, and then they put big rims on it and stuff. So they're garbage by choice there by not taking care of the vehicles. It would, but you gotta get the bills balanced out in order to do it. It doesn't take as long as you think. Genova did try to get money from me a very long time ago, but I didn't give it to him. Zach, yes, you can find red globe grapes at local supermarkets. You'll more or less find them at flea markets and farmers markets than you would at a grocery store. Do I have an air fryer? Yes, I have a Ninja Foodie grill. I hate Patrice O'Neill. I never liked that comedian. There was just something I just didn't really like about him. He only got famous because of the Bill Cosby joke he told. I think that's actually what started the ball rolling with him, with all the allegations and stuff. Working out can only do as much for mental health, even alcohol or so forth. You have to gauge your behavior and also listen to your doctor as far as to what's needed. Because there's different levels of types of mental issues that you can have. Hmm. So you got to just keep that in mind. I wouldn't try any of Genova's recipes. Genova is not a good cook. I mean, I guess he likes the food that he eats there, but between the hygienic nature of how he cooks his food and stuff, and I've seen some crazy stuff before. Zach, yeah, I've heard about that. I mean, as far as cannibalism is concerned, it takes a lot to eat another human being, but that's about the best I could say about that. Cannibalism in places that actually still practice it there is more or less for religious ritual things. The Druids used to definitely be cannibals, but it has more to do with ritualism than actual substance, because there's really no reason to eat another human being there unless there's absolutely no food around. And then you have to get yourself in the mental state to do so. So it's more or less for religious reasons. What's my diet like? Oatmeal in the morning, grilled chicken and some rice and stuff like that. I don't really eat carbs after 6 p.m. Oatmeal. Usually I'll have some sort of meat or vegetable meat and vegetables at night, either chicken or fish. I rarely eat any red meat whatsoever. I do have a sirloin steak I'm gonna eat tomorrow, but I only eat red meat once a week, and I eat eggs only once a week as well. Yeah, I played a Psych Bite when I was a kid. It's a really fun game. That's the end of this cigar. Remember, folks, twist, not jab. Got about 25 minutes left, folks, so get your question pot. You certainly can. How much have I seen them for by the pound? I don't really remember, Zach, to be honest with you. When it comes to stuff like that, I don't think it would be really that much there, especially at a farmer's market. Because remember, they're selling their excess goods from what they didn't sell to a supermarket. Would I take Don Lemon's spot? Absolutely, I would take a spot any day. I'd do it for $1 million for a 5-year contract. You have to remember, it's more. Don Lemon was getting more than 5 million. When you're in a position like that, you can negotiate for sponsorships and stuff like that. You know, what is Don Lemon's net worth? So it's more than just a contract. It's also the notoriety to where you can get other jobs. So Don Lemon net worth. He has a net worth of $12 million. Actually, that's actually kind of low. Tucker Carlson's worth like 80 million. So I don't get that one bit. But he is married though, so I mean, would I consider being a local anchorman? Maybe. Most local anchormen make about 40 or 50,000 a year. I made more money than that at Verizon. Plus, you have to get up all sorts of weird hours and do other stuff as well. Being an anchorman, a local anchorman, is pretty hard work. Even though I were, but I don't think race made much of a difference or anything like that. I mean, Don Lemon was Don Lemon. Even if he wasn't gay or black or anything, he still would have got the job. He knows how to do the job very well. So, but he's still an asshole there. So, well, again, cannibal people usually when people ate other human beings, like I said, it was a ritual type thing. It wasn't for subsistence. Yeah, I've seen Don Lemon's husband there. He would look like someone I would date there, but you know. But given Don Lemon's personality, I wouldn't. And I've said it. I've said it many times. I date based on personalities. I think he would be as big of an a hole as Don Lemon would be. Vegan Gains' net worth is based upon his channel, actually. It doesn't verify as far as net worth. I'm more than sure I have a larger net worth than he does. But you have to be careful as far as net worth is concerned. Uh, it says he has an estimated net worth of $300,000, but that's just based on channel wise. That doesn't mean that he actually has that money there. And there's other parts where it says he has 150,000, but I'll tell you right now, he definitely doesn't. His net worth definitely isn't that. You know, if his net worth was that much, he would have a better house. His wife Jasmine would not be working whatsoever. Well, KCB, in better. Uh, uh, Growth hormone there from cadavers or so forth. Or was it just the standard bad cow, bad meat or so forth, mad cow and stuff like that? There's a couple things that can cause that particular disease. I don't see why you would get flack for an anti-cannibal stance. Who would I hire first, Lemon or Tucker? Probably Tucker. Tucker, I can deal with. I would just tell him to cut out the crap that he's been doing there, and he'd be fine. I tell him to go back to his old CNN crossfire type behavior. Lemon would be a diva. I wouldn't want him around. Plus, again, I'd rather have a conservative. I mean, as much as I can say, Tucker Carlson at least is a conservative, and I would have to deal with a liberal. So I would still hire a conservative over a liberal any day. So you have that as well. I wouldn't consider Tucker a liberal or so for definitely a conservative. Conservative. He's one of those. He's what I consider a polemist there, but he would be easier to control. I would just tell him to cut out the BS. Well, quick pump. That's the nature of CNN. That's why I don't watch CNN. Once you've been at a channel like that for a while, you go farther and farther to the left. I mean, it works the same with Fox News there. It's always good to stay in the middle. I'm pretty much in the middle of things. A little bit further right there, but pretty much in the middle of things here. You know, slightly to the right. Oh, Norm Macdonald joke there. I gotcha. Okay, CB, these things just happen. We all got to go someday there. Some of the stuff just comes out of right field there. Jump tube, you need to be more specific. I'm not sure what you're referring to. May need to cut this off here. And you got. Do you think that a zombie apocalypse is possible? No, because there's no such thing as zombies. I mean, if there's a viral outbreak, once someone dies, they die. They're not going to come back to life. They're not going to reanimate or anything. How do I cook ramen noodles? I have a microwavable ramen cooker. I would just put it in, just heat it up for 5 minutes. Either that, or I'll use my hot water tap from my dispenser and just let it soak for 3 minutes. But I don't really need to cook them here because I have a dispenser that spits out hot water or boiling hot water. It was their protein bra, but I didn't vote for either Biden or Trump. A third party person. Well, Infinite Warfare. I don't know what to say about that. I would say he may have thought that you weren't important enough there. I'm not trying to be harsh or anything like that. Vegan Gains only decided to debate me when I was making some pretty nasty videos about him and stuff. I think the final straw was when I said he wasn't in my league or anything. That's when he wanted to really debate me. So you just need to really attract his attention. That could be also the common case to where you've not attracted enough attention from him to where he would debate you. Well, those are drug addicts there, KCB. They're not zombies, they're druggies. So, yeah, they'll walk around like zombies, but they're not actual zombies. Polemus, that's someone that's a general word for a shit stirrer, Zach. That's what a polemus is. Some people pronounce it polemus, polemus. There, pretty much. I call him polemus. Would I give Richard a hug? I think he does need a hug. So yeah, I'd probably give him a hug. Might help a bit. I wouldn't hug him in the state to where he's doing drugs or anything. What if every dead person that ever lived came back to life? I mean, that would be trillions upon. Oh, I mean, the planet in itself there would come off the hinges there. Literally, there wouldn't be enough room. Battletoads versus Double Dragon. That was a very difficult game. The Battletoads games were especially hard to play. Very hard. I think Battletoads had great graphics for an NES, but it was just a very hard game to play. No, I definitely didn't vote for Cayenne. I'm not familiar with Kensington there, but if it's a place where there's high drug use, then yeah, they would be no different than the people in Los Angeles. Mm. I never played DuckTales as a before. I've seen videos of it. There used to be a video game show on Nickelodeon to where they were playing it. It looked like a pretty decent game. Yes, I've definitely seen the Kai Green and grapefruit video where he's screwing a grapefruit. Oh yeah, the combos were cool and everything. It's just Battletoads never took off because it was just such a. I mean, a lot of people bought and played the game, but most people didn't get past the first or second level because it was just so. It was just so difficult, you know. I got through maybe two levels, and then afterwards, I'm like, man. The part that I couldn't beat definitely was the part the snake was moving around and stuff. That was just completely insane. You had to have some real good gaming skills to play Battletoads. Also, Ghost and Goblins there, that was a very difficult game as well. I like a good game there that has a level of difficulty, but I don't want to play something that is just super hard to the point to where it's no longer enjoyable. They still have G-Force Serratus. You would need to go on to Pluto, and you'll actually see the Pluto version. But they actually still have G4. Poliest, I believe, Zach. The big arms would turn invul. Yeah. Yeah, trademark of Battletoads here. That's until he got the stick and everything. Oh yeah, definitely. I played Doom and played some of the fan created levels. Doom's an awesome game. I beat Castlevania, or no, not. I beat which Castlevania did I beat? I beat one of the versions of Castlevania. Don't recall which one. It was an older one. Have I seen some recent Unreal 5? No, not as of yet, but game systems, Angel, are getting to the point to where they are looking like real life. Remember, we're in the age of, as far as to where AI personalities, to where they can literally create characters that are practically almost real life. It is kind of scary. It's going to be used in the future to scam people, that's for sure. In fact, it's already being used already. In order to, you've probably seen on YouTube some of these Tesla Bitcoin videos, the scams, and they're using that AI technology. Well, sure, Zach. You can, if you run into me, yeah, I'll sign an autograph for you. Yeah, I remember Siphon Filter. Yeah, that was a really good game. Folks, we got 10 minutes left, so get your questions in. Need to put anything in the pot, you can do so as well. But yeah, a lot of games I played MDK as well. That was a very graphically beautiful game. That's the best way I can describe it. I know it's unusual to say the word beautiful, but it looked good. I'll check it out there, Zach. Right now, I'm still not playing any real video games or anything. I did not play Mission Impossible on N64. I did play GoldenEye before. GoldenEye is a very hard game to emulate, but that was an awesome game as well. I didn't have a Game Boy at the time. I heard it was a good game. The thing about it is with Game Boys, the only game I played on Game Boy was Super Mario World, or excuse me, Super Mario Land. Actually, my apologies. But I still had my PDA organizer. It was just at a time to where I didn't. Whenever I went to a coffee shop, I usually read the newspaper and did some work on my PDA rather than. And of course, this is pre cell phone days and stuff like that. So, yeah. Berserk volume. That'll be quite interesting to see. But definitely possible to do Berserk. It would be quite interesting if they did a remake of it, that's for sure. They did a remake of Robotron 2084, but Berserk actually killed a person one time at the arcades. Had a heart attack. It was one of the first games ever to actually kill somebody from a heart attack. I kid you not, if you look it up, there it is. I never played No Mercy. I definitely played Mario Kart, that's for sure. And I did play Ninja Golf, yeah. Ninja Golf was a very unusual game, but it was very fun to play. And I did definitely have I mean, if you had a 7800, Ninja Golf definitely had to be in your collection. I like the Robotron. I played the VR Robotron game. I think they did pretty well with it. Oh, Berserk the manga. Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. I was thinking the video game. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, if something's very popular, they're gonna make another Dragon Ball series as well. So, I didn't own an SENS. I only played a couple of games on my friend's house here. At that time, I had an Atari Jaguar, so I didn't play too many games on the SNES because I had the Jaguar. Yeah, they did a real good job making the video game GoldenEye. Sinistar. Oh, yeah, I played Sinistar a bunch there. I did pretty well at that game. It was very difficult, but it was a very fun game to play. You had to be on your toes. You had to look up, down, left, right, and everything. I considered it similar to Time Pilot, sort of. KCB, you would have to either find a machine or I would just get one of those 4001 type game consoles here. I think that would be a much better investment. I watched the Street Fighter 2 animated movie as well as I'm not sure if you're aware of this. They actually had a anime series Street Fighter 2. This is a pretty cool movie and a good series. It should have gone a lot longer. There was also a Rambo one too, and then there was one Invasion USA. Short-lived cartoons here, but I remember watching the Rambo cartoon, so that was sort of like in the '80s, early '90s, and stuff. Well, AI women will fix loneliness epidemic. I believe so. I mean, they already have the little pocket pussies and stuff there, so that are AI controlled. So you'll see a lot more of that in the future. That's for sure. Because people are not really getting married like they used to. I think more people will be screwing robots in their butthole and stuff. So I like the end results there. There was one guy who could have won his class if he got a lot darker and covered up all those tattoos. The tattoos really screwed him with that light color. Next time he needs to get super dark, but I'm pretty pleased with the results. I didn't see anyone getting ripped off or anything. Yes, I've heard every single audio and video with Genova. That's just a requisite, I think, of being a piss trooper, I guess. Favorite X Men? Probably Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler was cool. Oh yeah, I still got to do the soul pole. Okay, soul pole. Do the soul pole. Do it as a 5 minute warning. Yeah, it would be a good idea. That it is there. 10K. Well, I got 1 minute left, Psycho, so this is YouTube library music. Because they took down that other stuff, I'm just using the YouTube creator music that's standard. It's called Cocktail Hour by Aaron Kinney. Hey, vegan legend. Can I sing a... No, I wouldn't be able to sing a Michael Jackson song. That's... I don't have the... I'm definitely not in that range, that's for sure. But folks, it is 10 o'clock p.m. That is the end of Earl Grey Tuesday. Want to thank Vince. Want to thank Alonzo. Want to thank Joel for donations. I want to thank everyone for joining me for the show. Don't forget to tune in on Friday for the midnight run. Once again, it is a great one. It is Vince Goodrum. Thanks again for joining me, and as always,